Assalamualaikum. Today we are going to talk about OSH, legal requirement in business management. So here we have five person. I am Muhammad HURAIRAH, as moderator. So we have which is Mr. ASYRAFAMIRUDIN, Mr. Hazim, Mr. AKRAM, and Mr. HAKIM. Okay, so we proceed to our first question. So, Mr. Ashraf, we know that in Malaysia we have two acts, which is Factory and Machinery Acts, and also Occupational Safety and Health Act. So can you explain what is Factory and Machinery Act and also Occupational Safety and Health Act?
Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Ahmad Asyrafamiruddin. So, for the first FMA or Factory and Machinery Act is stipulate that no person shall manufacture, fabricate, test, install, maintain, dismantle, or repair any machinery which is prescribed unless a written authority has been issued by the chief inspector. And furthermore, in year 1967, FMA was approved by Parliament of Malaysia. This is because this act was legislated overcome the weakness in machinery ordinance 1953. So and then we go to the OSH or Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. So OSH is very important. So the meaning of the OSH is to promote and encourage occupational safety and health awareness among workers to create organization along with effective safety and health measure.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ashraf, for this very good explanation. So we move to Mr. Hazim.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Hazim. Now we focus on OSH. Okay. What is actually roles of OSH?
Okay. Okay. Roles of OSH. Okay. Basically, roles or responsibilities of OSH is to ensure safety and health at the workplace lies with those who create the risk and with those who work with the risk. Okay. There are some rules of OSH. Okay. The rules are first protecting the safety and health of the members of the organization and others who may be affected by the work carried out. Second, preventing work-related fatalities, disabilities, injuries, ill health, disease, property and environmental damage and near misses. Okay, third, complying with relevant OSH national laws and regulations and other requirements to which the organization subscribe. Okay, fourth, for these rules, it may be not related to the rules of OSH, but I still say, just in case you want to know. Okay, next, ensuring that employees and their representative are consulted and encouraged to participate actively in all elements of the OSHMS, or also known as the Occupational Safety and Health Management System. And lastly, continually improving the performance of the OSHMS. Okay. Next, the role of occupational safety and health has been existent since 120 years ago. in the late 19th century. It started with steam boiler safety and then followed by machinery safety. Okay, after that, it was continued with industrial safety and hygiene, and lastly, occupational safety and health that covers every work sector. Okay, the role of this department can be explained in 6 eras. Okay, the first era is steam boiler safety era. The duration is which is before 1914. Second is machinery safety era. The duration is 1914 till 1952. Next, industrial safety era, 1953 till 1967. Okay, next, industrial safety and hygiene. The duration, which is in 1970 till 1994. And then, occupational safety and health era, which is after 1994. And then, we got OSHMP 15 era. And then, lastly, OSHMP 2020. Okay, basically, that's what I said is that's the role of OSH in Malaysia, basically. Okay. Next, the roles and responsibilities of OSH professionally vary regionally, but may include evaluating working environments, developing, endorsing, and encouraging measures that might prevent injuries and illness, providing OSH information to employees, and the public, providing medical examinations, and assessing the success of worker health programs. Okay, I want to give example, like in the Europe. Okay, in Norway, the main required tasks of an occupational health and safety practitioner include systematic evaluations of the working environment, endorsing preventative measures which eliminate reasons for illness in the workplace, giving information in the subject of employees' health, and giving information on occupational hygiene, ergonomics, and also environmental and safety risks in the workplace. Okay, that's for in Norway. In the Netherlands, required tasks for health and safety staff are only summarily defined and include voluntary medical examinations, a consulting room on the work environment for the workers, and health check assessment. Okay, I think that's all that I can briefly explain about the roles of OSH. Back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hazim. That's a very good explanation about roles of OSH. Okay, next, we move to Mr. Akram. So, what is actually impact of OSH in Malaysia presently?
Okay, Assalamualaikum and good evening. So occupational safety and health legislation in the country has evolved over a long period of time. Basically, in the legal context in Malaysia, the hierarchy is in the order of act, regulation, industry, code of practice, and guidelines. While the industry code of practice and guidelines do not have force the law, they have to further clarify the provision contained in the act and regulation. So an act, a statute passed by parliament, set out duties and provision including mechanisms for enforcement and penalty. So in the last 40 years, the occupational safety and health legislation has undergone massive transformation from being to prescriptive and containing detailed technical provision to being more flexible and encouraging self-regulation supported by code of practice and guidelines. This is because this change have been necessary and consistent with the trends of legislation development in industrialized countries to face challenge of the new millennium. So development of occupational safety and health legislation is influenced by type of work activities in specific time period. Uh, in yearly, the occupational safety and health legislation were linked to the tin mining industry. Hence, yearly legislation, boiler enactment in Malay State, 1898, the machinery enactment, 1913, and machinery ordinance, 1953, gave more attention to safety issue related to activities and use of equipment and transport system. So, in 1967, with the enactment of Factory and Machinery Act, more provision related to occupational health were included. The Factory and the Machinery Regulation 1970 included more specific provision to ensure a healthy work environment such as proper ventilation, air cleanliness, measure for controlling heat exposure, sufficient lighting, and supply of drinking water. So basically under this regulation, OEL were not specified for any of the head hazard. Provision for adequate ventilation will include where the number of air change every hour should be not less than 10 in the case of process which generate little or no heat, smoke or fume. So the conclusion is effective and efficient law enforcement is particularly vital in ensuring compliance to safety and health law in the country. Because nevertheless, all other stakeholders also need to share this responsibility in line with the self-regulation concept that has been put forward by OSHA 1994. For multinational companies operating in the country, they are highly recommended to use their own requirement and standard with regards to occupational safety and health as long as they meet minimum requirement as stipulated in the Malaysian legislation. So, interest to control exposure and ensuring safety and health in the workplace is slowly becoming of interest to unions. Study has shown awareness of OSHA 1994 and its effectiveness in meeting the object of the act needs to be improved, and hence it is important that employers and employees know, understand and comply with the provisions stipulated in the legislation. To promote safety and health in the workplace, it is important to ensure exposure to health hazards are regulated and well controlled. This is all the more as workplace in the country are subjected to the phenomenon of globalization with introduction of new technologies, work organization, work process and substance. Okay, moderator, thank you. That's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Akram. It's a very good explanation. At least now we know what is the impact of OSHA in Malaysia industry. What is the impact to the company and to the workers. Okay, now Mr. Hakim, what is the features, the salient features of OSHA?
Okay. Okay. What is the important of what is the salient features of OSHE? Okay, the safety and health of all employees should be the first priority and value of any business. It should therefore be the policy of any business to provide a safe and healthful work environment for all its employees. The business or institution like university should have in place a continuous safety and health to fulfill and achieve the goal and objective. With this in mind, the safety rule contained in Occupational Safety and Health Act, OSHA, have been formulated to assist and protect us. They were revised to keep up with the latest technology development, changing condition and improvement in equipment and procedure, as well as the requirements set forth by the OSHA team. Safety pays and it is a good investment for all CORSIM. It eliminates suffering and lost wage It also improves production, maintain efficiency, reduce waste, and generally provide a sense of well-being for all employees and working place. With such a broad definition, no wonder it is nearly impossible to get people who can very commit to a specific safety plan or safety procedure. The government attempts an effort to define and guide what exactly makes a work area safe. But if everyone doesn't believe the definition or explanation and not takes the appropriate action to obey the rule, then the system will break down. Companies or employees that have excellent safety records develop a safety culture where everyone believes that certain safety acts or procedures need to be followed in order to have safety work area. There are even presentations by motivational speakers who are really understand about safety, can focus on changing the audience attitude towards safety, making people aware of their surrounding and how safe they are is an important factor in getting the buy-ins that is need to have a truly safe work environment. In fact, it is a very difficult task to implement safety from years to years, and the accidents are continuously happening and the number of accidents are still increasing. Even though the number of incidents increase, we're still unable to identify specifically what does it mean by safety and find the best way to provide work environment that are really safe. Furthermore, when discussed about safety, we can relate it with to the health. Health and safety are very interrelated each others, and it is issue affecting all businesses around the world. One of the effort to provide the work environment that have both safety and health by implementing an occupational safety and health. It is a legal requirement in many countries, including Malaysia. At Malaysia, it is known as Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. OSHA in recent years become even more important part of the activities of both the private and the public sector. All the sector acknowledge the relevance of OSHA and they just try to implement it as much as they can. OSHA was widely criticized in its early years of confusing, burdensome regulation. A good deal of early conflict came about because the arbitrary and inconsistent enforced during OSHA early years. Okay, so there are five important features that I would like to tell. So the first one is to set a standard. Okay, what is meant by to set a standard? OSHA set healthy and safety standard for Malaysian workplace. They do after listening to recommendation from their various advisory committees. Sometimes they come up with standard on their own, and at the other time they come up with standard through responding to requests from others group and government agency such as Office of the Secretary Health and Human Service. They publish those standards so employee can follow them. They sometimes grant variance if an employer cannot meet the standard right away. They also revise standard as necessary. Okay, for the second point of the salient features of OSHA is to listen and respond to work appeals. One of the function of OSHA is to listen to worker concern and find ways to respond to them appropriately. Workers can file a complaint about the safety and health issue in the workplace by calling or writing OSHA. OSHA make it clear that this is a worker right and that employees cannot punish by demoting or means work who file such a complaint. Okay, so for the third point, publishes research and data on workplace safety. OSHA is a part of Department of Labour which publish through a labor statistic, information of injuries, illness and facility related to the workplace. They also make available data on the workplace standard that are most often violated as well as on workplace facility. Okay, so the number 4 point issue hazard alert that helps employee keep workers safe. Okay, OSHA also issue hazard alert to employees to let them know of potential dangers, to inform them of a way they can help worker to avoid such a danger. Okay, last but not least, I believe this is one of the most important features or the salient features is to provide training and education. Okay, so OSHA provide learning resources such as video, interactive web-based tools on a wide range of health and safety topics, including those related to construction, working with electric power, food processing, working in hospital, and woodworking. Their training institute provide classes in occupational safety and health for workers such as compliance officer, federal agent, consultant, and others. OSHA scope is wide because their goal is big to ensure better workplace safety for Malaysian in wide range of job. We can learn this by direct contact with the OSHA. Okay, I believe this all the important features. Okay, let me repeat the five main point. First one, set standard. The second one, listen and respond to worker appeals. Okay, the third one, publishes research and data on workplace safety. The number four, issues hazard alert that helps employee keep workers safe. And the lastly, provide training and education. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Mr.
Okay.
Hakim.
Mr. Hakim. Okay. Proceed.
Okay, welcome. Yes, Mr. Akram.
Mr. Hakim, I want to ask the fourth number of the law.
Okay.
How do you know that OSHA alert the workers? How do you, can you explain more specific? I mean not very long, but in the specific word.
Okay, how do they alert the workers? It is very simple actually. At workplace, we know that there will be a board or a whiteboard or something that to supply information to their workers. You know, sometimes workers need a procedure to make a product or something. So how to alert them is by post a poster about OSHA or about safety of their work at the whiteboard. Therefore, they can be alert about the danger of their workplace. So that's how to inform them. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hakim. And thank you also, Mr. Akram, for the question. I hope with this explanation, it can increase our knowledge about how important OSH actually in our daily work. Okay. Also, in conclusion, OSH is very helpful to employee as well as employer in creating a safe and profitable workplace. In my own opinion, safety and health, a safe workplace is not only protect the workers, it also can lower a risk of worker to get injury. So in this situation, it can also increase the profit that a company can gain. So can all of you, before we end this session, all of you can give in your own opinion how important of OSH actually in the workplace. So we start with Mr. Ashraf.
So, before I conclude my opinion or I give my opinion, so we look at the purpose of the OSHA or OSH. Um, these have four objectives or purpose that OSHA create. Okay. Um, for the first one, to secure the safety and health welfare of person at work. Okay, that's number one. So the number two of the objective of the OSHA. So number two is to protect of a place of work other than a person of work against risk. Okay. And number three is to promote an occupational environment for person at a work which adapted to their psychology and physical psychology needs. And number four is to provide the means whereby the associated occupational safety and health um, be progress be progress replaced by a system of regulation. So my opinion is this OSH is very important that our employee or employers to to implement to to practice at the workplace. So that's my opinion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ashraf. Mr. Hazim, what is your opinion about OSH in workplace?
Okay. From my opinion, uh, OSH, or occupational health and safety is really important in our everyday work, because it it important for us to ensure that we need to take care of our health and safety. Okay. Uh, Basically, uh, uh, everyone in the workplace need to know their roles and responsibility for implementing this occupational health and safety in their work. Okay, especially the employer. Okay, the employer is responsible for ensuring that the workplace is safe and healthy for all employees. Okay, the employer must be aware of the hazard and risk factors in the workplace and know how to manage them. The employer also has to make sure that the employees have the knowledge and skill required to do their work safely. Okay, the employer also must provide the employees an access to occupational health care. And for the employees are obliged to follow the orders and instruction given by the employer and to take care of their own safety and the safety of their co-workers. Okay, as a conclusion, it's actually it's depend on us individual to make sure that we follow the rules of OSH that is set by our employer in the workplace. Okay, that's all my opinion. Back to moderator.
So next, Mr. Akram.
Okay, in my 2 cent opinion,
Employer.
I think OSH is very important because everybody love themselves, right? Me myself love myself. I think you all love yourself, right? So it is important to both party actually, to employers, employees, to responsible for yourself, to care about to care about them. But for OSH, it is it give more advantage about the safety workers. So I think it is very, very, very important. Thank you, moderator.
Okay, next.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moderator. So, what are my opinion about the importance of OSHA? Okay, the thing is, if they all agree, someone must be disagree. Is it correct? No, the answer is no. It is very important, okay? The OSHA is important. We cannot neglect the OSHA. The reason is why,
I agree on that.
okay, thank you, Mr. AKRAM. Okay, because OSHA is important, it basically just like a human right, okay? People been fighting for human right, you know, like crazy. And I believe the safety of human is also like a human right. So I really believe that safety is important. So you know, when the safetyness in workplace is secure, the workers will be feel a lot more safer, and the productivity also can be increased. That's why it's important to apply OSHA. Okay, that's all from me, moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kim. Sorry, I have a problem just now. So, thank you very much for participating in this session. So, I hope we can practice a good a good OSH, good work rules in our respective workplace in the future. Thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum.
Okay, thank you, moderator.
Okay, thank you all panel
Okay,
and moderator.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, everyone. This is a very important meeting we have here. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.